Another day, another Sims 4 expansion pack. We have early access to the new Sims 4 Adventure Waits expansion pack. Right after Businesses and Hobbies came out, I didn't think it could get any better, but I think it just did. This expansion pack is bringing an entire new Getaway system, which will completely blow you away with all of the possibilities of it. I have an entire video planned for that. That is not what we're talking about today, though. Today, we're gonna do 35 key features that are coming with the expansion pack, and these are in no particular order. They are just completely random. Just a little reminder that if you do decide to pick up this pack, you can use my creator code, which is just Emma, and you basically just use it under promo code at checkout. Starting off with blenders. So this one was one that they featured in one of the trailers, and I got really excited for just because I think it's a really fun kitchen appliance that we've been missing. There's a really good selection of smoothies that you can make, and if you hover over all of them, there are different kind of perks and moodlets that come with each of them. This one is an energizing smoothie, so we'll instantly make your sim feeling energized. So most of them are kind of moodlet based. However, there was a really interesting one called the Purge sequence, which is green, requires fruit, milk, vegetables, and upon consuming it, your sim will get a terrified moodlet, and it will say the Purge sequence has been activated. You will need to run straight to the toilet, do your business, but what that will do is prevent you from needing the toilet for the rest of the day. So, I don't know. Kind of useful. Also, just want to show you that kids can also use the blender, which I think is really cute. They can do it kind of after school. All right, next up we have this story map, which you can find in the world of Gibby Point. So there's a couple different interactions with the map. You can kind of investigate the story map, and then you'll learn all about the lore, or at least how to discover the lore through the story map. You'll then want to talk to the storyteller, who's always kind of hovering around this map, and you can ask her about a bunch of the different quests, adventure quests. So this is kind of the basis for all of the lore around Gibby Point, and eventually you'll see your story map fill up with more and more information as you unlock all of the different storylines. So really cool kind of interactive storytelling. Also in the world of Gibby Point is this really beautiful lighthouse with its own lore and storytelling. So if you click on the lighthouse, you'll be able to interact with some notes that get left at the lighthouse, and then you can reply to those notes and they'll reply back to you. I'm not gonna do like a deep dive into what the actual lore is. I'll let all of you discover that as you play. All right, now moving on to something that is quite core to the pack, and that is butterflies and the new entomology skill. So you'll see kind of clusters of butterflies flying around all points of all the areas of Gibby Point, and it's a skill that kids all the way up to elders can have. Once you have butterflies in your inventory, you can drop them off at the atrium and you can build up your collection there. You can also raise your own through raising a caterpillar, which you can buy from build mode, and you'll actually see it turn from a caterpillar all the way to a butterfly, and the butterfly and moth habitat, which you can take butterflies from your inventory and put them in the habitat. Next up, we have some kid gameplay, which there's a lot of it in this pack, starting with formative moments. Now, this is really interesting. The idea is that it's basically experiences that you have as a kid that will really stay with you and shape your adult life and your sim. So formative moments can be found through challenges everywhere with pretty much most objects and gameplay things. So for example, clicking on a bookshelf, you can start a Be an Enthusiast challenge. You could click on a fridge and start the Feed Yourself challenge. You could click on the wardrobe and start a Establish an Image challenge. What that will do is unlock a bunch of different quests that you have to do. And once completing those tasks, you will complete the challenge and then you'll have a special trait. So here, my sim has a childhood naturalist trait, and she'll carry that trait all the way through to adult life. Something that you can do though is reverse engineer it. As an adult sim, you can click on your sim under formative moments. You can actually recall a lost formative moment, and it will pop up a list of all of the different formative moments and traits that you can unlock. Think about what kind of child your sim would have been and what kind of traits that they would benefit from having now. Another new skill that we have in the game, which is a level 10 paper crafting skill. So paper crafting comes in a few different ways. There's paper mache, origami, you can do paper airplanes. lots of different objects in build mode that you can create through this gameplay object. And it's just one gameplay object that you just place on a table. They'll start with like kind of low poly objects like this big frog. And then they'll get better and better as your skill increases. There's cute little gameplay objects as well, like the paper airplanes. You can actually throw those. You can gift the objects to people. Yeah, we love a new skill. All right, next up, we have lots of new fitness and workout activities. So there's a really cool area in Gibby Point, which is, I think, home to the Fitness Fest. Lots of different activities. One of the new ones are the spin classes. So you have the spin bikes and you have a spin instructor who sits at the top and you get your fitness skill increase from it. You can have other Sims mentor you, but we love the spin classes. There's also free weights, so you could do arm curls on it. You can also ask for fitness mentoring. This is not a new skill, this is just the fitness skill, but there's just new gameplay objects now for it. And yes, this is the home to the Fitness Fest. What is a new skill though is archery that is coming with the pack. So in that same Fitness Fest area are the archery build objects. It's a new skill, so it's available for child Sims all the way up to elder Sims. Something though that's really interesting with this fitness skill that I only discovered towards the end is if you actually practice this skill too much, you'll get a negative moodlet and you'll actually tear your rotator, leaving you with an uncomfortable moodlet. And I think you'll not be able to do any more archery for about 10 hours in total. Continuing on with the kid gameplay, we also have rock, paper, scissors. This is a really fun new game because you can actually set the preferences of what your sim will do. So maybe one sim has a preference for rock, another sim has the preference for paper. You'll get the little icon above their heads about what hand motion they did. And then after a round of 3, one sim will win. Another new game that comes with the pack is hide and seek. This one is also really fun. Your 2 sims will kind of go their separate ways. One sim will kind of invisible disappear into an object, and then your other sim, you can be in control of when they start looking and when they stop looking, can then go and find them, and you'll have like this little shimmering effect. But yeah, this is 2 really cute new games that are introduced. A really fun new build object for kids is the introduction of the imaginary friends. Now this actually just starts as a doll, which you do have to buy in build mode. And there's 4 different types. You buy it in build mode and then you'll have the normal interactions with it. Your child sim can play with it. It can tell it a secret. And then you'll have the option to change its personality, which is really interesting. You'll have 4 different options: competitive, creative, evil, or goofball. And then eventually when you build up your friendship with this imaginary friend, you'll be able to turn it into your invisible friend. So your imaginary friend is so funny because as you switch between different sims, like if I switch between the mom or the child sim, the imaginary friend will disappear. So it's kind of disorientating. Suddenly you'll see your child just talking and playing with nobody. But you have all of the normal interactions with your imaginary friend. You can play imagination games, you can talk to it, play hide and seek, really build up your friendship with it, and it will kind of encourage you to do different things depending on whatever personality you picked for it. You'll also have the option to send it back to the imaginary land if you wanted to just go back to be a doll. But there's a whole bunch of gameplay with this imaginary friend, which I will let you go and explore on your own. It's really fun. So yeah, that's, I feel like, a big feature that's coming with the pack. Continuing on though with kid gameplay, we now have modular playgrounds. There's a lot of different build mode pieces that come with this, so you can really customize it. But if you don't want to do that, they also already have the pre-made sets. But you have the platforms of 2 different heights. You have 2 different slides, 3 different slides actually. You have a few different parts that the kids can interact with, and then you have a few different color options so you can kind of play around with the color palette. This can get pretty big though, so you do need a really big back garden to build the whole set. You also have a new slide that comes with the pack, and it matches a new swing set that we're getting. This is just a few of the animations of your kid playing with the playground. You can play as a solo or with a group of kids. Yeah, I just think that could be really cool for community lots. Maybe a little too big for your homes, but for community lots, I think this is really fun. There are also lots of new water activities that come with the pack, such as kayaking. This is not a new skill, this is just fitness, but they will kind of sit in the water surrounding Gibby Point, and then you can kayak. It's only a solo kayak, but you can kayak with other sims around you, and you build up your fitness skill, and it actually looks absolutely stunning in the world of Gibby Point. We also have diving boards. So diving is a new level 5 skill. This is from kids all the way to elders. The diving skill is quite entertaining to watch. The first few dives that your sim will do will be hilarious, but they'll actually slowly improve to eventually have the most amazing diving poses. There's 2 types of diving boards, one that can just go on your pool at home, and then another one which is much taller, which you can build in community lots or things like that. Okay, moving on to collectibles. So this is really cute. There's a lot of fun collectibles around Gibby Point, and you can go down there, down by the mine, and you can actually collect, or you can trade different collectibles with him. So our sim has a bunch of different moths in her inventory and fish, different things that you can trade. And depending on the value of the item, whether it's rare or uncommon, you'll get something special or extra special from Buddy Scoop. If you're trying to build up your collection of collectibles, then this is definitely worth doing. You get some really fun surprises. So a nice little complimentary activity that you can do to archery is you can now go bow fishing. So depending on your fishing skill and depending on your archery skill, you can combine the two and you can go bow fishing. You can do this in any place that you can go fishing normally, and the animation is just a little different, but the outcome is the same. You'll catch different types of fish or random objects. All right, moving on to one of the most beautiful parts in Gibby Point. It is this stunning kind of jellyfish cave, and there are glowworms in that area that you can interact with, and upon interacting with the glowworms, you'll have this beautiful shimmery effect in the cave, and it will unlock the electric lagoon. Something that you can do in the electric lagoon is catch jellyfish specific to the area, the Astral Pro jellyfish, which are like rare, super rare collectibles, but you can only do this at night upon triggering the glowworms. I also want to mention that it makes a beautiful backdrop for a new woohoo destination. So you can actually now woohoo in any water. You can do it in lakes, in pools, or in the kind of electric lagoon. So one of the main attractions in Gibby Point is the sulfuric geyser. Admire it, you can interact with it, and then you'll notice there's a little bit of lore around the geyser. There's a boulder that you can interact with, and it will let off the smoke and the steam, the sulfuric steam, and it's a really kind of beautiful thing to watch. All right, there's another layer to the lore, and that is with the Hermit Park Ranger. So there's the Hermit Park Ranger Tower, which you can interact with. You can send them gifts, you can send them notes, and they'll respond to you after about 24 hours, and you can talk with them back and forth. They'll actually send you gifts. So there's a little bit of lore that you can discover there, but it's similar to the lighthouse before. I'll leave all of that up to you to discover. Okay, next up I want to talk about how there are 2 waterfront lots that come with this pack. So they haven't done this since Island Living, where a lot is half on the water, half off the water, so you can create some of the most amazing builds. There's 2 of them. They're actually both up in the top corners, left and right corners. So yeah, 2 really cool new lots that are built on the water. Quickly jumping into cast, I want to tell you about a new aspiration that is coming for kids. It is the Cool Kid on the Block. Basically encourages kids to be the coolest in their neighborhood by doing a bunch of tasks, trading for the best collectibles, winning all the games. That one's really fun. There's also a new adult aspiration called the Critter Hunter. This is a nature aspiration where Sims will collect and kind of examine all of the different outdoor critters. We also have a new trait. This is the competitive trait, and there's 2 sides to it. You have the toxic competitive, but also kind of the healthy competitive trait. It unlocks a bunch of new interactions when talking with Sims. You can kind of encourage them to be the best version of themselves and teach them about different games, or it will drive you to be really kind of negative. So I have saved the best for last. This is probably the biggest feature of the pack, and it is the introduction of the Getaway system. So I'm gonna do an entire deep dive in my next video about all of the possibilities of the Getaway system with all the cross-pack compatibility. But quickly, a little kind of top level, the Getaway system allows your sim to go out on retreats. You can have them as overnight retreats or just for a couple of hours. And you plan the getaway first by picking the location. So we're gonna do kind of a fishing retreat. I thought that could be fun. So we're doing it at Camp Gibby Gibby. We're just having it for one night, and you can also select it to be reoccurring if you want it for it to be like a every Sunday fishing retreat. Next up is the schedule. So there's a couple different presets that you can pick from: an outdoor, kids camp, fitness retreat, and then you can go through and individually select all of the different activities for all of the different roles. We've got a full retreat schedule, so we're doing fishing all morning, then we're gonna do lunch midday, fishing again in the afternoon. You can also then go through and select uniforms. So for example, if you're doing a fitness retreat, you could have everyone wear fitness stuff, or if you're doing, I don't know, something for kids, like a kids camp, then you can have them all wear matching uniforms. So you can get really creative with the uniforms. You can also, depending on the different roles, like if you had a chef, you could have them wear a chef uniform. There's also a bunch of rules that you can have for the getaways. Those are more specific to kind of competitions. So you might have seen the Love Island competition inspired gameplay that The Sims did in the trailer. So if you wanted to do a competition like that, you have those rules here. Or like a survival of the fittest, also that's a rule. So for kind of retreats and getaways that I probably would do in my gameplay, I wouldn't have any rules, but that is an option. All right, now we are at our fishing retreat. So we actually started the retreat over breakfast. So all of the Sims are here eating their breakfast. We have the retreat leader who is serving food. And then when the clock moves over to 12, all of the Sims go and start their next activity, which is fishing. So they go to the nearest fishing dock and they're all wearing their matching uniforms, and now they're going and fishing. They'll do that basically all afternoon, and then at 5 p.m. they will have their dinner. And then at 8 p.m. the getaway ends. But as I said, I've got an entire video going into the getaway system, custom venues, and I've got some really fun, unique ideas of what you can do, and all the cross-pack compatibility. That's another video. So that is our 35 new features that are coming with the new Sims 4 Adventure Awaits expansion pack. Huge thank you again to the EA Creator Network for giving me early access. I am super excited about this pack. I hope you are as well. And stay tuned for my next video if you're interested in the getaway system. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!